stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Exploding your rear. Feel our voices.
Vader roasting on an open fire. What's up? VOR is back. This is Ed.
This is Mikey Boy.
And this is Carl Mann. I don't know.
You are a man, Carl.
So we're back. More Force Awakens.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as soon as that movie let out, all I wanted to do was like run home and, well, first thing I wanted to do was go back to the theater and watch it again.
Yeah.
And my friend had the day off the next day, and he did talk about doing that, and I was half tempted to do it. The second thing I wanted to do was go home, wake you guys up, and immediately record a show. Because you probably were awake anyway, so...
Yeah, honestly, like I wish we could have worked it out because I think we probably could have like just I was ready. Like I was ready to go like 6 hours. It's like, let's do it. It's like I'm ready to just like let's hit that 8-hour maximum on Google Hangouts. Let's just do an 8-hour show.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Force Awakens telethon.
Yeah. You know what I wanted to do? I had a buddy who didn't know I had tickets to see the movie because I didn't know I was really going. And he called me. He's in Nashville, and he's like, "Guess what I got? I got tickets to go see Force Awakens." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Oh, good. Me too." And he was like, "Oh, I thought I was going to make you jealous." So my thoughts were, because when we lined it up, I was like, "Oh, I'm going into the movie an hour before him." So what I was going to do, I was going to come out of the film. He would be halfway through it, and I was just going to text him the big bomb.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait until Han dies. Tell me what you think when Han dies.
Holy shit. He's the worst friend ever.
I was like, I want to do that so badly because I will live in that guy's mind forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You will be that guy's Vader.
No doubt.
You will be immortal. Yeah, it's really funny because I saw this great post on Facebook, and I don't know if it's real or not because it's the internet. Half the shit on there is fake anyways. But some guy like was all like, "Oh man, I got my midnight tickets, and anyone that doesn't have their tickets to the midnight showing, fuck them, because they should have bought them like 3 months ago like I did. I'm going to spoil the hell out of everything." You know, and someone's like, "Hey man, I was looking at your tickets that you post there, and they're for 12 noon on Friday and not midnight." He's like, "What? No, they're not." And here's this guy like shitting all over. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to spoil it for everyone because they weren't there at midnight." And everyone's like, "Oh, I cannot wait to come home and spoil it for you."
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like that's what you get, shitball.
No doubt. What a fucker. Ugh.
But speaking of spoilers, guess who isn't the Jedi apparently? Finn. What?
Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But they
Probably not. That's okay.
Like we mentioned earlier, like the marketing was really leading up to him being a Jedi, and like I was really upset.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, motherfucker, they spoiled it. Finn's going to be a Jedi, and he's got the lightsaber." And then like the old switcheroo, he ends up giving it to Rey at the end. So
did you guys notice the one thing about Finn that was so awesome? And like I didn't know if I even cared about Finn. I have to dump this because it's going to take just a second. At the very beginning, when that other stormtrooper wipes the blood on his mask, it was like Sev from the Republic Commando.
Yeah.
They gave out all those little throughout the film. If you watch the movie, you'll notice that they gave out all these like little Easter eggy like nods to this and that and this and that. And now it had to be a Karen. It's just a little nod like, "Karen, we still love you."
I bet.
Dude, it was so cool.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And it was a visual thing that needed to happen so you could focus on him and see that he's there and he's frozen and blah blah blah.
And set him apart.
That's him.
It's a great way to set him apart from identical troopers.
Yeah.
Right, but it was Sev, and I was like, oh, of all things, I did not expect that. And from that point in the movie, I was like, this movie can almost do it. The Smurfs could show up. And there's a place for the Smurfs.
Yeah.
You know,
like the Ewoks were vicious, so Smurfs can be vicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my favorite Finn moment.
Yeah, and I agree. Like that was the moment I was like, because here's the. I meant to mention this when we first opened the show, but there's this thing that I realized, and it was that scene where I realized it was, holy shit, this isn't a cartoon. because for years, and it's not completely fair, but it's how I feel. I feel like I haven't had anything other than cartoons for Star Wars since The Phantom Menace, and even The Phantom Menace like was super cartoony, and I didn't quite realize it until I saw The Force Awakens, where I was like, oh, this is jarring because this is real. You know, it's like these are real people acting out this fake story. You know, whereas like the Clone Wars and the prequels before it, like they were so CGI and everything that it felt like a cartoon. It was really kind of jarring at first, and I think that moment, like with all those troopers coming down and people just getting indiscriminately killed, and the blood on the helmet and everything like that, it's like it was basically J.J. Abrams just kicking down the door and being like, live action, we're back to grit, we're back to like fighting, we're, you know, it's like he was like, yeah, this isn't a cartoon, this is.
And what was amazing, there's two things about that scene. And we'll get back to actually about Finn, but two things about that scene is it establishes this First Order and these stormtroopers as like they were kind of scary before because they were like faceless, they looked like big white skeletons, and there was a lot of them, right? So that's just intimidating. These guys are vicious, like they are merciless. They murdered a village, and they all just murdered everybody, and that's what they do. You're not with us, you're done. And it establishes that terror of this regime that needs to be there. So now you see how high the stakes are. Two, there hasn't been blood in Star Wars.
No.
Yeah.
When you get your arm cut off, it's cauterized. When you get blasted, you get burned. There's very few moments of blood. Luke gets his face hit by the Wampa. It's not very graphic, you know.
Yeah.
Keep it PG, and you know it doesn't scare the kids too much. But this guy's get blood smeared on his helmet. Later, Kylo Ren gets wounded by a lightsaber, and then he looks down and I think he deliberately, and to drive his Force power, and I love this moment, he's beating the wound, causing it to bleed. And again, no blood in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So this is like, it's pretty intense, next level, and I like it.
Yeah, and it was great. And like that opening scene, it's kind of like what they did in A New Hope, because when A New Hope opens and the Tantive is boarded, you know, it's like you're like, oh shit, these guys are for real, because they just straight up slaughtered all these guys. I mean, and those were soldiers. And the New Order, they first show up and they got flamethrowers.
That's
you know, it's like they're literally like, if you want something to be visually strong and you want to say like, hey, we're slaughtering a village, nothing quite gets that point across like a fucking flamethrower. There's just something very visceral and awful and scary and
bad.
Yeah, it's not good. Like nothing good comes from a flamethrower.
Yeah, you can't defend yourself against a flamethrower.
Yeah, it's just like it's such an awful way to die, and it's destructive.
Terrible.
It destroys everything around it. It's indiscriminatory. It's like that is evil. You know, it's like going around with a flamethrower, burning down a village. You know.
Yeah, but back to Finn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blanket this and just say that he was an absolute joy to watch on screen. I love Finn. I love the energy that John Boyega brings to the character. You know, his childish enthusiasm now that he's out in the world. You know, he decides, I'm gonna put everything in line. I'm gonna help this guy because all I want to do is get the fuck out of here, and maybe he can do it. And if not, what do I have to lose? And after that, he just throws himself into every life situation like a puppy, just like, hey, awesome, we can be friends. This is cool. I got it. It's all good. And in all the action sequences, granted, he was trained to kill, but murder is not what he does. However, escaping the Star Destroyer, and then later when he's in the other battle, I don't know the planets by heart yet, but you know,
it's like
when
the or something like that.
I don't know, but it's like just after he decided to join the smugglers, you know, and now he's out there and then the resistance fighters come in and start like taking out all the First Order guys. It's that it isn't just like, he's out there, he's watching, he's like, motherfucking yeah, you know, and the opposite of the first Star Wars, where it's like, I got one, all right, don't get cocky, we got more things to do around here, you know. It's like he's like, I got it, and Poe's like, hell yeah, man, get more, like get more. You know, they're both like fucking jazzed.
It's like you're just waiting for someone to come out and be like, hit the rock, hit the rock, hit the motherfucking rock.
Yeah, those are those guys. Those are those two. So yeah, more Finn, more Finn.
Yeah.
I love one of the things I love that there's two things I love about Finn. My favorite Finn moment was the chin moment. It was so human because it's happened to me where people have tried to, because I tend to get dense when I'm thinking of other things. And so Han is like moving his chin point, and Finn's like, what? What's with the chin? What? I loved that. That was such pure, real, true humor, and it was very real. And I've been in those, in those instances, like even like when we're doing the show, and Ed's like, and I'm like, what? Shut up now,
Oh no, Ed's got Tourette's. I'll keep talking.
It made him real. And then here's something very, very, very real. He is leaving the First Order. He defected. He's run from the most powerful and evil and deadly thing. And if they catch him, he's not just going to be shot on sight. They're going to torture the holy shit out of this guy. He has, at the core of all of this, on his best day, he's a fugitive who is on his way to death.
Yeah.
And he sacrificed everything. Like, even if he does something bad and selfish and just hides away, he's ruined. And he's got so much to lose, and, like, what a cool guy. Like, he chokes me up. Like, I love him. I love him.
And here's something that's interesting, and it's something that they did with just about every single one of the main characters, and I thought it was, including Han Solo, and I thought it was a cool idea, was at each point in the film, they have an out. It's like at every point of the film, there's one point where someone could be like, no, I'm fucking out. Like, Rey could have just sold BB-8, been done. He's like, nope, I'm done with the adventure, have the droid, we're out. Like when Finn was on that planet, he's trying to get onto a ship out to the Outer Rim. He had his chance to be like, no, fuck it, this isn't my fight, I'm out. Han Solo didn't have to help the kids. He could have just been like, you kids, you're cute and all, but get off my ship, get into the emergency escape pod, you're out. It's like there's all these points where these characters could have been like, no, this is stupid. I don't want to risk my life for something that might not matter. It's like, it's not my fight, that sort of thing. And each one of them have that character moment where they're faced with the choice, and each one of them make the choice. And whether it's for the right reason or the wrong reason, we'll find out. But like, each one of these characters made the choice to be involved with this, and that's not something you usually see in like the hero's tale. Like there might be one or two characters, like there's the Bilbo, there's the one character that has to make the choice, but the fact that every single one of these characters was given the choice, each one of them made the heroic choice, and I think that's why the ensemble of the film works so well, is because they're all heroes. And they're all likable, and that was the other thing that I really took away, and I think Finn is exceptionally likable. Him and Poe, I think, are probably the two most likable characters in the entire film. And like that's something I always complain about when I walk out of a movie, like or a TV show. I'll be like 2 or 3 episodes into a season, I'm like, who am I supposed to be rooting for? Like, no one in this show is likable. Like Enterprise, I had that big problem with Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise, the TV show. I was like 3 or 4 episodes in before I finally found a character other than the Doctor that I liked. It's like you shouldn't have that problem when you come into fiction. You shouldn't
be told who to like, which has been a big Star Wars ploy since Return of the Jedi. Every time they have like a new cartoon or whatever, they're telling you exactly who they are and that you should like them or not like them. And Clone Wars was the biggest victim of this. Here's the new villain that you all love. Get more of him next season when you blah. And it's like, and even story-wise, they have a thing of like, people walk in like, here's my full name, here's what I believe in, and someone go like, you know what, you're a good person, thanks, I'm trying to be a good person here. Finn, it wants so much to be the antithesis of the First Order. He just wants to be a good guy. It's not that he's in love with Rey. He wants to help her. He wants to do right. He's like, okay, she's got this. But then when the shit really starts hitting the fan, he's like, I gotta help her. I gotta save someone. And then he's like, I love that he keeps grabbing her hand. She's like, stop giving my hand. She's like, come on, let's go. Stop touching my hand. Why are you grabbing my hand? He feels that's what you do when you're saving someone's life.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
He's just so goddamn likable, and like you said, it didn't have to be told. It didn't have to be like he just was likable, and I think a lot of that. And again, here we go back like the shitting on George Lucas. I think a lot of that comes from the direction, because if you look at the prequels,
Yeah.
you have like a cast full of actors that were likable. You know, people loved them, and they could just not get it across. Whereas like I can't say his last name, but Finn is such a likable character, like, from start to finish. Like, you know, because you see all these bad things happening, and you see him having hesitation. So right there, you're just like, this guy's different, you know. And then he gets to the ship. He takes off his helmet. The first time, mind you, other than the heroes, well, I guess technically he is a hero, that we've seen someone without a helmet on in stormtrooper armor. It's like you never see the face of a stormtrooper. So like right there, boom, he's different, and he's having regrets. He's having a panic attack. He's having an anxiety attack after this traumatic event, you know, which is not a stormtrooper thing to do. It's like you're already relating to this guy. It's like he's in over his head. He's so it's like right off the bat.
Even Captain Phasma, who is, you know, Gwendolyn something from Game of Thrones was cast as Captain Phasma. I stayed spoiler free, so I didn't know. I heard she was cast, but I didn't. I'm like, oh, she'll show up eventually, and I forgot about it when I watched it. I didn't know she was Captain Phasma. So I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh, it's cool that that's a stormtrooper, but it's a woman's voice. That's pretty sweet. And then later I find out that it's her, and same thing, exactly what you're saying. Even she's like A-list now. She never takes off her helmet. She gets thrown in the garbage.
Right.
Yeah, and now that's a bold choice too. Like to have someone that's like, or they had the one chick from what was it, 40 Years a Slave. That she was Oscar nominated. I'm terrible with these names.
Yeah, who was she? Who was she?
She was the bartender, the alien, and she did she did the voice in the mocap for it. So they was like, yeah, we're going to have this beautiful award-winning actress, and we're just going to have her do the mocap for this like wee dinky little alien character, who was amazing also. Again, another likable character, and wasn't like another ham-handed attempt at like, here, ooh, look at this creepy looking alien, ooh, blah 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 blah. You know, it's like you're just like, okay, this character has a point, she has a purpose, she has a personality, like right off the bat, and she's likable. God, another likable character. What am I going to do liking all these characters in Star Wars? I'm not used to it.
Right. Oh my God. Here's a real cool thing about Finn, and it's tapping into modern things again, you know, because a lot of these movies you almost can't help but respond to things of the time, even though it's space fantasy. And you got to call Finn exactly what he is. FN2187 is a child warrior. You know, he is a child soldier. He was stolen from his home, forced to fight for the New Order. That's how he grew up. He wasn't a clone, which is the first thing I was excited about, because it just still seems undefined as to whether or not, you know, the original trilogy stormtroopers are clones or not. It makes more sense to me for them. It seems more expensive for them to be clones versus just conscript people like Finn. So I'm glad that they've put their, you know, they've drawn the line in the sand. They're like, we conscript and we get child soldiers, and Finn's one of them. So just that's just such a great choice. And as kids get into that character, it'll also make them look at the world around them and go like, there's kids in Africa who are just like Finn, who are ripped from their families and forced to do this, and they probably don't like it either, you know? So just hats off on that choice.
And it's a good way to keep things topical without being really super heavy-handed about it. Because that's one thing that they did really well with this film is they cast it internationally, they wrote the story to appeal internationally, and it doesn't particularly feel that way, which I think is really saying something, because that's a hard accomplishment. Because, and I hate to sound like one of those people that, because it almost sounds like you're being sexist or racist or something, but it's not. It's every once in a while you can just tell when something was chosen simply because let's make this character a woman to make it a character that's a woman because we don't have a woman on the cast yet. Let's make her a woman. It's like Star Wars at no point felt that way. And I know there's some people complaining about it, like already wanting to boycott it because they're racist or sexist or they're just big old assholes or whatever.
I thought there was too many Scots. I'll just put that on record right fucking now. No Scots in Star Wars. It's not Scott Wars.
But it's like it was nice to like that. And I'm sure there's, like I said, there's always going to be people making that complaint because they're assholes. But it didn't feel like it was shoehorned in. It didn't feel like they were just trying to hit a quota. Like every single one of these characters felt like they had a good reason to be there, a good reason to be the person they were, and it all worked towards the story as a overall. And I really like that. So, and Finn was a big part of it. So
I was talking to my buddy John Pierce about this. He had yet to have seen it, but I didn't want to give any anything away. But I had said, hey, don't worry, because when I first saw that the main people in this film, Poe was kind of on the fence. Like I was getting a Rick Olay vibe off of Poe, but I love him, dude. He's this hero. He's like the most hero. He looks like he's got hero hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you put Poe and Finn and Rey next to each other, it's almost like the Dan Reed Network or like the United Colors of Benetton ad. And I was like, oh, isn't this cute? The new Star Wars is for everybody, and like everyone's going to appreciate it. But you know what? All of it came through, and I didn't even notice. Like, it didn't seem like they were trying. Hey, look, and this one is of Latin descent, and this one is. It didn't matter.
And it should be that way. And we're getting to the point finally. I mean, we're older dudes, so this was something that has been engineered for years. Diversity, but it makes sense. And I mean, when I work on a project for a client, and I'll mix up things like that, gender, races, and stuff, even in a storyboard project, they're like, "Oh, hey, good idea on that one." I'm like, this is where we live, people. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's because I live in a city where you get so many different people, but it's just the reality of like, if you want to catch more fish, like you need a rainbow net.
Yeah.
That's your new nickname.
Rainbow net.
I accept. Rainbow net.
On that note.
But yeah, I think we should go ahead and wrap that up then, because I think that's a great place to wrap it up. But yeah, good job, Star Wars, is what we're basically saying. But till then. But till then, head on over to vorradio.com. Over there you can find links to our YouTube, our Facebook page, our iTunes subscription, instructions on how to leave viewer feedback. All that stuff is over there. Old shows, new shows. Find it over at vorradio.com. But till then, tomorrow we will be back with another part of this episode, and we're going to the classic cast that's coming back, right? That's what we're discussing? That's what we have Yeah, so we're going to be talking Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, the droids. We'll be talking about the returning cast and what we thought about their portrayals and what it meant for them being back. So
awesome. We'll be back, you be back, right here, and may the Force
be with
that ass.